So one thing about traveling Thailand that I didn't know when I first got here was smoky season. And when I first got here last year, a lot of people were leaving early saying that the smoke is coming early and things like that. But I did have friends last year that stayed until the end of March. And some of them said, you know, make sure you keep your windows shut, have an air purifier. Some of them didn't even care. They just kept the windows open and they didn't have an air purifier or AC. They just kind of lived like a local. So I decided to challenge myself to see how long I can stay in North Thailand right now. It is the middle of March, and as you can see, it is absolutely gray out. There's supposed to be a mountain that you could see the range all up here, but it is just completely shrouded in smoke. Now the smoke isn't just from North Thailand. Pretty much all the northern parts of Southeast Asia, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, even some parts of North Vietnam get hit every year by the smoky season. And it's a period from March to pretty much the end of May until the rain comes. And where it's coming from is all of the farmers. And they don't have the machinery that the farmers in our modern countries have. So what they do is they burn all their fields at the same time. And what this does, it burns away any of the roots and anything in the fields, so that way whatever they grow for next year can thrive. Oh, I got a little friend coming to say hi. Say hi to me. I love this cat. I also like picking up cats by the back of their necks, like their mamas. Absolutely, look at her. But now she doesn't want to leave me alone. Is that right? Sometimes she likes to bite my ankles whenever I don't pet her. Ah! See? She did it right there. You bit my ankle. But anyway, the way this is supposed to go is that March is supposed to be the start. So it's definitely here right now. And I am looking at the air quality. Yeah, the air quality for North Thailand is looking like it's starting to get up there and around the 100, 105 mark here today. Also, when April comes around, that's when the smoke is the thickest. And it's also the most hot and the most humid. Like April is supposed to be a time where you do not want to be here. In fact, at the peak of the smoky season in North Thailand, it is declared the worst place to live in the world at that time due to the air quality. But I'm gonna try to brave it through. May gets like that too. Like the humidity in some places was like 100%. Crazy. And with the heat, it said, at least on the weather app, it felt like it was about 125, 27 degrees. Absolutely ridiculous. And that's in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. But this year they did impose a new law specifically for Thailand. It said last year in 2024, they said it was one of the worst smokes they've had in a while. And I think that prompted the government to implement new laws, and what those laws do is imprisons locals for smoking if they're caught smoking in their fields. I can't remember how long the term for a prison sentence is for that, but it's either that and or they fine you up to 10,000 baht, which in US dollars I think is around $300. And for the people living here, 300 bucks, it's not something to easily recoup from. But yeah, this season hopefully will be a little bit more bearable. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, so let's see. You're just not going to leave me alone today, are you? Apparently not. Alright guys, it's another day out here in Pai, Thailand. You can see a little bit of the mountains. That just goes to show you that because it is the smoky season, it's not just one constant the entire time. It can be, but it's a fluctuating things. You know, one day you might not be seeing the mountains, the next day you might see it a little bit more. You might get a rainy day, you just don't know. So far there's been no rain. Local people I've been talking to say there's got to be a day of rain coming here sometime soon. But I have noticed that it has been getting hotter. To give you some perspective on how warm it is outside, like I don't even have the water heater on and it's just like warm. Which isn't really the best thing when you want to take a cold shower on a hot day. All this used to be grass, all of it. And now it's no more than a pile of leaves. As I said, we're only 5 minutes outside of town and it reads it's moderate here compared to in town where I've seen it hit dangerous levels for air quality, like 150 plus. Where out here it was just under 100. Not the best, but definitely better. We'll see how things go. You know, it's absolutely crazy that just a couple weeks ago you could see the mountains all back here, but yeah, now you can't see them at all. Okay, now that it is nighttime, I'm definitely smelling a little bit of a burning smell in the air. There's a little bit of haze in the lights, especially that big light out there in the street. Yeah, you can definitely tell that there is some haze and some fog going on, but it's still not that bad. Although this morning, I don't know if I'm just used to the smell at this point or if it's actually gone down. Because even last night, I was laying down in bed, I could just, I had the smoky smell like it was coming into the room. So I don't know if I'm used to it at this point or if it's just not as potent today. I can see the mountains a little bit out there, but like just barely. I don't know, maybe in the nights it's a little bit more smoky, or maybe they were burning more locally here during the night. As I said, with that new law, not only they get fined and or put in prison, what they also have here is like kind of a snitching program. If you see someone who's burning in their fields and you report it to the authorities, then they'll give you that 10,000 baht reward, which is it's like $300. Kinda shady. At the same time, I'm sure everyone would be grateful to not have their air polluted as much. The air quality that I'm reading right now is above 110. Yeah, it's definitely gotten more thick. So this has only happened within, a couple days, so we'll see how it keeps going. Oh my gosh, it has come. The rain has finally appeared. Let's see if we can whoa. Wow, that was incredible. Being at higher altitude, it is so close. It is amazing to experience a thunderstorm out here. But I decided to come to town real quick to get some food before it really kicks in. So I just got dinner, so now it's time to make it back because it's really starting to come down now. And it's really handy having a bike here. Unfortunately, the rain didn't really come down last night, so what I got in the streets was pretty much the best that it rained. Oh, how I want it to rain. The smoke is starting to come in a little bit more, and I can actually smell the smoke now. I couldn't smell it in my room, but as soon as I stepped outside, yeah, it actually kind of leaves a little bit of like a feeling in your throat. And also today I've seen the air quality get to almost 150. So yeah, that's getting closer to dangerous levels. But yeah, I'm not getting a bad cough or anything like that. It just feels like my throat isn't the best, but I mean, it's to be expected. Thank God for water. But I am seeing that I'm almost low on gas, so let's get going. Got our gas now. Now we're in the town of Pai, so yeah, it does feel a little bit more like thicker. And that's how it's going to be like in the towns or in the cities. You're going to have more pollution and therefore less air quality. Compared to what it used to be in the high season, the streets are really, really quiet here. And to be honest, I kind of like it. This masaman curry is quite honestly probably my most favorite thing here. Today we are reaching critical levels, and you can probably tell a little bit right here on the top of the trees. You can see how they're a little bit hazy, but I still haven't noticed any major issues with my breathing or anything like that. There's no smelling. Usually the only time it smells is during the nighttime, and I think that's because I think there's some local farms around here that discreetly burn at night. That way they can avoid going to jail. I'm looking at the air quality for when you're in town. Man, look at that number. Over 270. I can tell that the air is a little bit denser. So probably over time that will affect me. But you know, as of right now, if you're only planning on staying like a couple days during the smoke season, I don't know about when it's like gonna be peak smoke season in April and May, but definitely here at the end of March, it is still doable. Even taking a little drive out here out in the country, you can still get a taste of how foggy it is. Walking in town, you can see all the haze around the tops of the buildings. And yeah, it definitely has more of a darker feel today. Usually there's a bunch of stands that are lined up all down the street, but I don't know if it's because of the smoke or they're just all off today, but it's definitely a lot more quiet. And now that it's April, I'm definitely at nights. Now I'm noticing it's a lot hotter. As you can see behind me, all the smoke is covering the distant mountain range. All you can see is the valley below. And because of the heat and humidity here, you definitely notice it in the air. I can definitely see how years of exposure to being just in this could cause long-term effects. See if we can stay a little bit longer here in Pai, and then we can see how intense it actually gets. It's like I kind of almost want to see the most intense that it has in store so we can get it on video. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh my gosh, please, just a little bit of rain. It's also worth mentioning that during the smoky season is when you're going to find the best prices for accommodations, obviously because it's the lowest time of the year for tourism. And there's definitely not as many events here as there was during the high season. That is to be expected. So really, if you just want a cheap place to live, just hang around, go to the hot springs, you know, go jump in the river, go take a hike, just have some quiet time, this is definitely a great place to enjoy some personal time if you need it, or if you just want to lay low for a little bit. Had a little bit of a late night last night. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm starting to feel hot around this time. So I only have a fan in my room, so there's no AC. It's just blowing whatever air's in here. And then yeah, once 3 or 4 o'clock rolls around, that's when you start like sweating. But thankfully, there are hotels where you can hop in the pool and just pay like 100 baht, which is like not even $3. And they're out here in these beautiful rice fields. Even in smoky season, I can't get over rice fields. They're just so beautiful. But the heat makes it a little difficult, so let's go for a swim. This was so needed. I'm just driving back from town, and you can see up there in the mountains, there are some fires going on. It's a little blurry, but yeah, way up there in the mountains, all those farmers are burning. You can see it going to the left, and then you see it going up. And then there's like a whole mountain range behind it, and it's all glowing. It's all glowing red. So it looks kind of like a volcano up there. I've never seen that at night. I also think it's funny because behind me, there's one of those posters as well that says, "Stop burning," yet right in view of the sign, you've got a whole mountain that looks on fire. So it's about a week and a half into April now, and the smoke is definitely peaking here today. It is hazardous. This is the worst I've seen it so far. And as you can see, just behind the property line here, like it is smoky, it is foggy back there. I think this is the worst visibility that I've had being here. The reason I feel like why you would want to be here at this time is that it's quiet, it's very, very cheap. Very, very, very cheap. Like I've lived in India. I think here in Thailand is the most affordable place I've ever lived. Granted, there are some things too that are missing here, like stores have shut down, people have left, but we're toughing it out. Just made myself a cup of cacao, and even in that short amount of time, like you can see how tinted it is out here. Like there's this slight yellow grayish tints, and you know, the whole atmosphere here just kind of has this dusty looking environment to it. So I started to smell a little bit of something. So it wasn't as intense as that one night coming back and smelling the burning was so prominent, or you know, even at night time in my room. But the big factor here is seeing the smoke, and with the smoke, man, it also feels a little bit hotter, like the sun completely gone behind the smoke, and starting to feel a little bit more humid, which is why you see me without a shirt most days. And that's a good cup of cacao.